Alrighty. Weekly review for March 17th. Ended up only taking two trades this week. I think, this week was a little bit choppy. NASDAQ was kind of in its little pullback phase, but also was like ranging in a way. So didn't really see too much opportunities. But one thing that we did very well this week was just managing risk. First trade that we took was on Monday, March 17th. Second trade being the 18th. And yeah, we'll go over it right now. So starting off in NASDAQ, we had attempted to take longs after seeing a nice move up in the AM session. I believe we had news that dropped this morning. And we were just overall trying to just follow the trend. Everything was telling us to be bullish. So let me change this. So starting at the 4 hour. Overall, after the 7 o'clock candle close, I was looking for price to continue higher back up into this area of interest just due to price having a type 2 bullish close above these levels. We have an open close right here, an open close right here. Those are my levels. This is the 3 to 7 o'clock candle. It closed above. Was looking for price to pull back on this 4 hour candle to continue higher. Same thing with the 1 hour. The 1 hour had also closed above beyond these areas of interest. So I was overall looking to be more bullish. Same with the 30 minute, just looking for that continuation move. 15 minute was kind of consolidating. It broke above these highs and then it started to kind of pull back in a little bit, but overall still maintain the bias. 5 minute was kind of showing signs of rejections. We had attempted to push up and make the highs twice, but failed. But overall, I was still seeing this structure to be more bullish. But now, as we go into the 1 minute, what I think I could have done better was just kind of paying attention to the most recent price action. It's pretty obvious that, we're trending up right now, right? Here's a high, low, higher high, but then between these, between this low and this high, we kind of range, right? We're kind of ranging lower. We're making lower highs and lower lows. And I saw this as the potential type 3 shift, right? We were breaking new lows, broke above the high, was looking for a retest to potentially reclaim these highs up here, but price just didn't want to move in my favor at the time. So I just got the timing down wrong. Eventually, price did continue to make new highs, but I think the lesson here was that these are the key internal highs, right? This one and this one. This is the overall larger trend. I think if I was more patient to see maybe an action like a better low and a better lower high gonna get put in like this one did right here and see price break above here and then retest and pull back, then it would have been better. But I also more likely than not, if I'm following the trend, I would take this any day. So I could just be over analyzing this lesson that the market's provided for me. And I also need to remind myself that not every trade is going to play out. I can always focus on stacking probabilities based on the amount of confluences I have when it comes to aligning with a larger time frame. However, that was the trade for that day. And luckily for this trade, when I took it, I got filled full stop on the funded account, but on my live account, it actually didn't fill me. So price did retrace back to like my negative zero point 0.5 R area, and that's when I closed out. So I closed out for a smaller loss on the live account compared to the funded, which is nice. But other than that, that was the first lesson. And then the second one ended up being a pretty good trade. We had gotten a very good entry. We were waiting very patiently for this entry, and then yeah, price just ended up hitting our break-even point. But it was nice because we were able to move our stops to be more risk-free. Um, Starting off the 1 minute, obviously price moving extremely bearish. Um, The overall bias was determined by this 7 o'clock close, closing type 2, which closed beyond this level right here. I was looking for a continuation to this downside. Um, yeah. this 1 hour also closed type 2. So overall, all the previous candles did close type 2 bearish. And so now what I'm doing is, or my mindset was now, how can I get the medium and lower time frame to give me some sort of entry level? So 15-minute had also closed bearish as well. As you can see, just three bearish continuation moves to the downside. 5-minute, I was looking for some sort of pattern, and we ended up getting a 5-minute type 2 bearish close right here. After we closed beyond this previous level right here, I was looking to get in on this pullback, stop above the highs, look for a potential move lower. And we did get the move lower, taking out these lows right here. And then once we did, I moved stops to break even just to see if price was willing to melt down and also just to de-risk. Price did pull back and stop me out. And I believe, yeah, and after that, price actually ended up continuing higher, traded back into this area of interest, and then moved back lower. So that being said, very great trade management. It is what it is. Pretty slow week for me during this trading week. It's a great way to start the new funded account. Was able to manage my risk and follow all of my plans and follow all my rules. One thing I could have done better was maybe, I don't know. I think I did a pretty good job just overall following the process, following the system, not really trying to rush anything. I do know that, or I do think that when it comes to taking trades where the move had already, like where a huge part of the move had already happened, something that I recently learned was, let's say if I'm taking a short on this 4 hour candle, but it's already broken the lows. Don't expect to hold for too much of a continuation to the downside. Expect price to pull back a little bit before moving lower. Now, compared to when if you're taking a trade and so you have your entry, within this range, then you're able to have, or then you're able to consider an extended move to be higher probability, right? Just because you know that price had already gone through its pullback phase for then a continued push lower. Other than that, those are the only two trades I took for the week. Overall, very good week. Risk was managed. First red week in a while, actually. Overall stats are looking pretty good, looking pretty nice. Hopefully, by the end of this month, we at least end with a pretty decent win rate. I don't want that to be the main focus, but what I do want is to make sure that every day that I come into the markets, I'm focused on my process, focused on my system, and just making sure that I'm coming into the markets with the right mindset, not trying to focus on making money, just focus on executing and continue doing what I'm doing to get to where I am at now, right? As you can see, this is very great progress. These are very nice stats to have. And yeah, other than that, that's going to be the trade weekly review. And I will go ahead and see you all next week.